Hello, boys and girls. Lord Hawkeye here again. This is just a little bit of a year in review sort of thing, because it seems to be the big thing everyone's doing these days. So, I like to look at the events of the year and try to figure out what kind of useful lessons can we learn from it. Because, hey, everything in life's got something to teach you. The question is, do you learn the right lesson or the wrong one? Well, let's hope I learn the right ones from these. Let's take a look here. We had riots this year. We had riots in Britain, in the US, and even up here in Canada. Although in our case, over a hockey game. Yeah, that's embarrassing. But, what did we learn? What did we learn from them? Well, let's think about it. We have more governments, more police, more political power than ever before, and yet these riots happened anyway. And in many cases, the police were pretty much powerless to stop them. So, what's the lesson here? Politicians and the people who worship them will bleat endlessly about how if there wasn't a government, there would be anarchy, there would be chaos, there would be everyone rioting in the streets. And then we get this. Folks, this has taught, if nothing else, this has taught, beyond a shadow of a doubt, governments are not the one thing between us and total chaos and riots. If a bunch of people wanted to riot, they'll do it. And there's very little the state could probably do about it. We're stopped by the fact that we're not all savage animals like the political class would just love us to believe. So, come on. I mean, just think about it. Look at yourself. Are you saying that laws are the only reason you're not going out murdering and killing people? Do you really think you're that different from other people? Come on, think about it. Let's see. Oh, not satisfied with the power they have already, politicians over in the U.S. wanted to grant themselves the right to detain people indefinitely if they so desire, and through SOPA they wanted to censor anything off the internet if they so desire. People rag on to businessmen about how much money's enough. Well, I say to the political class, how much power is enough? I mean, come on. If political power really was the answer to all our problems would all have been solved tenfold already. Come on, think about it. Are you really going to try and say that the government isn't big enough? Are you really that dense? Come on. Oh, moving away from politics for a moment, we had a preacher who said the end of the world was nigh in April, and when that didn't happen, he said it was nigh in October, and it still didn't happen. Tragically, a couple people lost everything because they fell for this. And what did we learn from this? Oh, it's pretty much just confirmed what all thinking people have already figured out already. Religion is a scam. I hate to be so blunt, but it is. It's a scam. Notice how the people who preach religion always end up filthy rich, and the people who follow it always end up poor as a result. Come on, it's pretty obvious. I mean, religion's not even trying anymore these days. It's just become a joke. Let's see, what else did we get? Oh, we had multiple stories of police harassing lemonade stands, beating people for no reason, and even one case where they ran down a young lady and then arrested her parents when they came to the scene demanding answers. What did we learn from this? Well, that power corrupts. I mean, we all know that if you're not an idiot. But even more important than that, the fact that these stories just keep coming to light, even no matter how remote, no matter how obscure it might be, these stories just keep coming to light over and over, shows that the internet is going to destroy the state. That's going, like, the state not stamping out the internet while it had the chance is something it is going to rue the day. Because with the internet, it just can't get away with these things anymore. So that's why I love the internet. Let's see, Ron Paul. He's back in the spotlight again now that there's another presidential campaign running, and it seems to be all the more crucial that he gets in. And well, his opponents have, rather than actually address his philosophies or anything like that, have turned to saying, "Ooh, he's a racist," because some letter he never wrote said bad things about black people. Oh God, if that's not an act of desperation, I don't know what is. As many people have pointed out, if you're really anti-racist, you have got way, way bigger fish to fry than Ron Paul. I mean, come on. If anyone has got a history of racism, it's governments, by far. I mean, just look at their track records. Pretty abysmal. And as for Ron Paul himself, well, I do admire the man's integrity. That's absolutely unmatched. I don't think I could put up with all that he does. I don't believe for a second he's going to redeem the government, because it simply can't be done. It's like trying to redeem devil worshippers or something like that. It's not going to happen. But if he does get elected, he might cause some major setbacks for government expansion, which of course is always good and probably will help some people. And if he does, great for him for that. I definitely can't argue with that. So, I guess here's to Ron Paul. I hope, if nothing else, he continues to teach people some important lessons about the role of about government, the true nature of it, and everything. Let's see. Also, the Occupy protests. Quite the laughs. I talked about this with Shane on his podcast a while ago, and that pretty much summed up my thoughts on it. I guess the lesson we can learn from this is, people are getting wind that something's way wrong here. Something's way out of place. Like, why are banks getting billions of our money completely uncontested without a single taxpayer being asked for his input on it? Like, I'm definitely glad that people are finally realizing that and getting angry about it. But of course, the problem is they keep getting angry at the banks. They just can't seem to take that step of going after the government. They just don't want to go there. It's just so uncomfortable. So I guess it's like an abused spouse who will try any argument except morally attacking her spouse, because that just brings to light too many uncomfortable facts. But they will eventually when going after banks continues to prove fruitless, they'll eventually figure out who the real enemy is, and when they do, I hope it'll be sooner rather than later. So, that's basically the year in review for me. Let's see. It seems pretty negative, but my outlook on the future is always good, because that seems to be the running theme. Things are always getting better, and people are always saying they're getting worse. But I think they are getting better. Like, as I pointed out here, people are very slowly but surely becoming aware of the situation they're in. They are, like, even the hardcore statists are really having trouble saying that the state is moral and good with a straight face. And when you look at all this, I mean, come on, nobody's going to... But they still insist that if they just get the right guy in, well, maybe when they get Ron Paul in, things are nice for a while, and things go to shit again as soon as he's out of office. Maybe that'll finally drive the last nail in the coffin. I can only hope. So, if you're like me, if you are sick and tired of government, if you're sick and tired of the lies and all the myths, well, just keep on spreading the word and keep on sticking to your principles. Never let those go, because without those, you've got nothing. And for those of you who do still support the government, I ask you, please reconsider. For the sake of yourself and for everyone else. Well, with all that being said, there was something else I wanted to share. This is a little speech I read. It was by a comic book character, interestingly enough, by the name of Anarchy. His name pretty much says it all. He was a comic book character by Alan Moore. At first was like the stereotype anarchist, but apparently somewhere along the line, Alan Moore actually did his homework on the subject and realized what anarchy was really all about. So, I do hope you enjoy this. I'll try and read this as well as I can. Everything you know is a lie. Cast your mind back to when you were a child. Remember how life shone out from within? How everything was new and full of golden hope? And then they got to you. The politicians, the priests, the philosophers, the parasites. This is politics. Do what you're told, or we'll punish you. This is religion. Suffer miserably, so you can be happy after death. This is philosophy. The universe came from nothing, and will one day return to it. None of these doctrines stands up to rational analysis. Since the birth of consciousness, hundreds of millions of human beings have been slaughtered by their fellows. Men, women, children, snuffed out as if their lives meant nothing. Why? Because we look to leaders and priests and gurus and stars to tell us what to do, instead of relying on the powers of our own sovereign minds. They charge in blood for the privilege of ruling us. Quoting Einstein out of context, they say that good and evil are relative, that there are no moral absolutes. They lie. Only 2 laws are needed to change the entire universe. Never use initiatory force, and never cheat. The people who run our world constantly break both. Aristotle believed that man is basically good, decent, and noble. If left to his own devices, he'll seek individual happiness within an orderly society. For Aristotle, human life and sovereign consciousness were the universe's greatest values. But Plato believed that man is a wild and savage beast, incapable of self-discipline. To manage him for his own best ends, man needs rulers, kings, governments, priests, presidents. For Plato, human life is worthless, to be endlessly sacrificed to higher causes and ideals. Which one do you think the world followed? Mao Tse-tung spouted a lot of nonsense, but he sure got one thing right. All political power comes out of the barrel of a gun. You don't believe me, do you? You live in a democracy. You vote for your leaders. So tell me, what happens if you want to disobey them? Say you don't like the president. You object to paying taxes to support him, his family, his pets, his bodyguards, and the friends he wangled jobs for. What do? Or say you don't like your taxes being used to subsidize foreign arms sales for slaughter in the third world. How do you stop it? Vote for someone else whose policy is the same? Don't vote? The government pretends to be there to serve you. In reality, it's there to tell you what to do. If you refuse to obey, you'll be investigated, arrested, criminalized. Your assets will be seized and given to the state. You will be jailed. Albert Einstein said that the only justifiable purpose of political institutions is to ensure the unhampered development of the individual. But our institutions are the opposite. They enslave us, rule us, by fear and deceit. They'll gladly bomb us back into the Stone Age. They don't want the common man to be anything but a slave. The world has gone wrong, but I swear by every breath in my body, I will put it right again. In harsh economic terms, there are only 2 kinds of people in the world. Those who produce goods, services, and values, and those who don't. And before you say, what about the old, the young, and the sick? We'll look after them, right? That's what makes us human. Intentional non-producers are parasites. To hide their parasitism, they employ the techniques of deception, coercion, and naked force. Parasites can never create. They can only destroy. Today, for the first time in history, the parasites outnumber the producers who support them. They're entering a final feeding frenzy, which will result in the ultimate evil, a totalitarian state. Where administration bigwigs view the world from stretch limos, where families sleep in cardboard boxes. Corrupt businessmen flourish, while honest men beg in the gutter. Crime explodes, while decent folk are afraid to walk the streets that their taxes paid for. All human life is there, from the best to the worst, the kings in their fortresses to the scum in their sties, and all of them believe it has to be that way. I'm going to show that it doesn't. The world is collapsing. Madness flares everywhere. The animal mind reclaims the conscious mind. The religious slaughters, the intertribal massacres, the wars for oil have turned our planet into a charnel pit. Grinding poverty affects half mankind. 20 million people die each year because they're hungry. And who pays for the parasites who cause it all? The common man, his wife, and his children. The elites have always won. The common man has always lost. Until tonight. I merely intend to hold up a mirror and say, see what you are, and see what you could be. Mankind is poised between a future in the stars and a future in the mud. So stop the killing, stop the lies, and let's start living. Imagine you're a child again, filled with innocence and wonder and life. Remember how good it felt? That's what the parasites stole from us. They bled us dry, and like sheep, we lined up to give more blood. But we can have it all back, and more. The information age provides a spotlight the parasites can't squirm away from. Identify them, negate their evil, ostracize them. Step with me into a better world. Couldn't have said it better myself. Indeed. Let's step into a new year and hope for a better world. Until next time, be aware and be wise.